A driver must always give the right-of-way to pedestrians crossing the road at A. Crosswalk. B. Intersection. C. Pedestrian bridge. D. Both A and B. Answer, D. Minnesota law requires drivers to yield the right-of-way to pedestrians crossing at crosswalks and intersections. The minimum distance you must park from a fire hydrant in Minnesota is A. 5 feet. B. 10 feet. C. 15 feet. D. 20 feet. Answer, C. Minnesota law requires that vehicles be parked at least 15 feet away from a fire hydrant to ensure access for emergency services. The legal BAC limit for commercial drivers in Minnesota is A. 0.02%. B. 0.04%. C. 0.06%. D. 0.08%. Answer, B. The legal BAC limit for commercial drivers in Minnesota is 0.04%. A vehicle's headlights must be used during weather conditions when visibility is A. Less than 1,000 feet. B. Less than 500 feet. C. Less than 100 feet. D. Less than 50 feet. Answer, B. Headlights must be turned on when visibility is less than 500 feet due to weather conditions like fog, rain, or snow. In Minnesota, a driver may turn left on red if A. Turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street. B. Turning from a two-way street onto a one-way street. C. Turning from any street onto a freeway. D. None of the above. Answer, A. A left turn on red is permitted in Minnesota only when turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street. A motorcycle must have its headlight turned on. A. At all times when operated. B. Only at night. C. Only in bad weather. D. Only on highways. Answer, A. In Minnesota, motorcycles must have their headlights on at all times when in operation to increase visibility. The penalty for refusing a breathalyzer test in Minnesota includes A. A longer license suspension than for failing the test. B. A shorter license suspension than for failing the test. C. A fine with no license suspension. D. No penalty if not convicted of DWI. Answer, A. Refusing a breathalyzer test in Minnesota can result in a longer license suspension compared to failing the test. Emergency vehicles with flashing lights and sirens require drivers to A. Pull over to the right and stop. B. Speed up to clear the way. C. Maintain their current speed and direction. D. Pull over to the left and stop. Answer, A. When an emergency vehicle with flashing lights and sirens approaches, drivers must pull over to the right side of the road and stop. A Minnesota driver's license allows a person to legally operate a vehicle for A. 5 years. B. 4 years. C. 6 years. D. 10 years. Answer, B. A standard Minnesota driver's license is valid for 4 years and must be renewed on the driver's birthday. Commercial vehicles with a Class A license may tow vehicles with a gross weight of A. Less than 10,000 pounds. B. 10,000 pounds or more. C. Less than 26,001 pounds. D. 26,001 pounds or more. Answer, B. A Class A license allows the driver to tow vehicles with a gross vehicle weight of 10,000 pounds or more. Minnesota law requires drivers to dim their high beams within A. 300 feet of an oncoming vehicle. B. 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle. C. 700 feet of an oncoming vehicle. D. 1,000 feet of an oncoming vehicle. Answer, B. High beams must be dimmed within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle to prevent glare for other drivers. Driving privileges are revoked for at least 6 months in Minnesota for A. Driving under the influence. B. Speeding over 100 miles per hour. C. Refusing a breathalyzer test. D. All of the above. Answer: D. Minnesota law revokes driving privileges for at least 6 months for offenses like DUI, speeding over 100 miles per hour, and refusing a breathalyzer test. A flashing yellow light at an intersection indicates: A. Stop and proceed when safe. B. Slow down and proceed with caution. C. Yield to traffic on the right. D. Stop if turning left. Answer: B. A flashing yellow light indicates that drivers should slow down and proceed with caution through the intersection. In Minnesota, a person under 21 convicted of driving with any detectable amount of alcohol in their system will face: A. A fine but no loss of license. B. License suspension under the Not a Drop law. C. Mandatory community service. D. A warning but no further action. Answer: B. Under Minnesota's Not a Drop law, any driver under 21 found with alcohol in their system will face license suspension. For vehicles registered in Minnesota, emissions inspections are required: A. Annually. B. Every 2 years. C. Every 3 years. D. Not required. Answer: D. Minnesota does not require emissions inspections for vehicles registered in the state. The minimum age to obtain a Minnesota state ID card is: A. 12 years. B. 14 years. C. No minimum age. D. 16 years. Answer: C. There is no minimum age requirement to obtain a Minnesota state ID card. A driver in Minnesota must always stop for a school bus with flashing red lights when: A. Approaching the bus from the front. B. Approaching the bus from behind. C. On a divided highway. D. Both A and B. Answer: D. Drivers must stop for a school bus with flashing red lights whether they are approaching from the front or behind, except on the opposite side of a divided highway. A provisional driver's license in Minnesota is valid for: A. 6 months. B. 12 months. C. 18 months. D. 24 months. Answer: D. A provisional driver's license in Minnesota is valid for 24 months. The penalty for a first offense of texting while driving in Minnesota includes: A. A warning. B. A fine. C. License suspension. D. Jail time. Answer: B. Texting while driving is illegal in Minnesota, and the penalty for a first offense is a fine. A vehicle's license plate must be illuminated by a white light so it is visible from a distance of: A. 25 feet. B. 50 feet. C. 75 feet. D. 100 feet. Answer: D. The law requires that a vehicle's license plate be illuminated by a white light visible from 100 feet at night. The correct procedure for entering a highway from an on-ramp is to: A. Stop before merging. B. Accelerate to match the speed of traffic. C. Yield to all vehicles regardless of speed. D. Slow down to merge safely. Answer: B. Drivers should accelerate to match the speed of traffic when merging onto a highway to ensure a smooth and safe entry. On a road with 3 or more lanes, slower-moving vehicles should use: A. The rightmost lane. B. The leftmost lane. C. The center lane. D. Any lane. Answer: A. Slower-moving vehicles should use the rightmost lane to allow faster traffic to pass on the left. Drivers under 18 in Minnesota are prohibited from using: A. Handheld cell phones. B. Hands-free cell phones. C. Any electronic communication device. D. Both B and C. Answer: D. Minnesota law prohibits drivers under 18 from using any electronic communication device, including hands-free devices. On a two-lane road, the driver must pass another vehicle. A. On the left side. B. On the right side. C. In any lane available. D. Only when the road is clear of oncoming traffic. Answer A. Passing another vehicle on a two-lane road must be done on the left side and only when the road is clear of oncoming traffic. A vehicle's parking brake should be used. A. Only on steep inclines. B. Every time the vehicle is parked. C. Only in icy conditions. D. Only when parking on gravel. Answer B. The parking brake should be used every time the vehicle is parked to prevent unintended movement. Under Minnesota law, a driver convicted of 2 DWI offenses within 10 years may be required to A. Attend a treatment program. B. Install an ignition interlock device. C. Serve jail time. D. All of the above. Answer D. Multiple DWI convictions can result in mandatory treatment, ignition interlock installation, and possible jail time. For drivers aged 18 to 20, the provisional driver's license can be upgraded to a full license after A. 6 months. B. 12 months. C. 18 months. D. 24 months. Answer B. A provisional driver's license can be upgraded to a full license after 12 months if the driver has no convictions for alcohol violations or moving violations. In Minnesota, stopping distances increase on A. Wet roads. B. Gravel roads. C. Snowy roads. D. All of the above. Answer D. Stopping distances increase on wet, gravel, and snowy roads due to reduced traction. Pedestrians using a white cane or guide dog have the right of way. A. At all intersections. B. Only at marked crosswalks. C. Only when crossing with a green light. D. At all times. Answer D. Pedestrians using a white cane or guide dog have the right of way at all times and should be given special consideration by drivers. On rural highways, the safe following distance behind another vehicle is A. 1 car length. B. 2 car lengths. C. 4 seconds. D. 3 seconds. Answer C. A safe following distance on rural highways is typically 4 seconds behind the vehicle in front to allow ample time to react. A driver must notify the Minnesota Department of Public Safety of an address change within A. 10 days. B. 15 days. C. 30 days. D. 60 days. Answer C. Drivers must notify the Minnesota Department of Public Safety of any address change within 30 days. A flashing red light at an intersection means A. Yield to oncoming traffic. B. Proceed with caution. C. Stop and proceed when safe. D. Stop and wait for the light to turn green. Answer C. A flashing red light means the driver must stop and then proceed when it is safe to do so. In Minnesota, it is illegal to pass a vehicle within A. 50 feet of an intersection. B. 75 feet of a railroad crossing. C. 100 feet of a bridge. D. 100 feet of a railroad crossing. Answer D. Passing is illegal within 100 feet of a railroad crossing to prevent accidents. When driving in a roundabout, the correct direction to travel is A. Counterclockwise. B. Clockwise. C. Either direction. D. Depending on the lane. Answer A. Roundabouts require drivers to travel in a counterclockwise direction around the central island. Minnesota law requires vehicle insurance to include A. Liability coverage. B. Personal injury protection, PIP. C. Uninsured motorist coverage. D. All of the above. Answer, D. Minnesota law mandates that vehicle insurance includes liability coverage, personal injury protection, PIP, and uninsured motorist coverage. The penalty for fleeing a police officer in a motor vehicle includes A. A fine up to $5,000. B. Imprisonment. C. License revocation. D. All of the above. Answer, D. Fleeing a police officer in a motor vehicle is a serious offense in Minnesota and can result in fines, imprisonment, and license revocation. The law prohibits parking within how many feet of a stop sign? A. 10 feet. B. 20 feet. C. 30 feet. D. 50 feet. Answer, C. It is illegal to park within 30 feet of a stop sign in Minnesota to ensure visibility and safety. The minimum following distance behind a large truck on the highway should be A. 2 seconds. B. 3 seconds. C. 4 seconds. D. 5 seconds. Answer, D. A minimum following distance of 5 seconds is recommended behind large trucks to allow enough space for sudden stops. In Minnesota, driving with a suspended license may result in A. A fine. B. Jail time. C. Extended suspension. D. All of the above. Answer, D. Driving with a suspended license can result in fines, jail time, and an extended suspension of driving privileges. If a driver is convicted of a DWI with a BAC of 0.16% or higher, the mandatory penalty includes A. All of the above. B. Increased fines. C. Longer license suspension. D. Installation of an ignition interlock device. Answer, A. A DWI conviction with a BAC of 0.16% or higher includes penalties such as mandatory installation of an ignition interlock device, increased fines, and a longer license suspension.